Hello and welcome to the Women's Football Chat Live. Matchweek 20 of the Women's Super League season continues today as Tottenham take on Manchester United in what is a huge game in the top three race. Manchester United coming into this game in fourth position and a level on points with Arsenal, 2 points off Chelsea, so it's imperative really that the Red Devils get the result today to keep their chances of qualifying for the Champions League alive. Of course, Chelsea are in action as well as they travel to take on Everton. So many things could happen today, lots of permutations. The two sides are also going to meet on the last day of the season, but you feel for Manchester United it is very important that they take the win today to give themselves a chance, especially with the number of games in hand that Arsenal will have. They'll have 3 games advantage on United. So yeah, it's a massive game between these two sides. United have got to win it, and although Tottenham have never beaten Manchester United before in their history, the results this season show that Tottenham have what it takes to take the game to Mark Skinner's side. A 3-3 draw at the Leigh Sports Village in the league and a narrow 2-1 loss in the League Cup quarter-finals is a positive for Tottenham, who are searching in desperate need of a win themselves. They've lost their last 4 games now in all competitions, but to cut them some slack, their last 3 games have come against Manchester City, Arsenal and of course Chelsea in the Women's FA Cup. So the run doesn't get any easier for Martin Ho and his side, but they will be hoping to try and get something against the United side, who have had a mixed bag of results recently. Of course, the international break has managed to put a bit of a stop to domestic action, but most recently they were pretty much embarrassed in that Manchester derby. So yeah, they'll be hoping to get back to winning ways today, and it is vital that they do. A loss today and suddenly they've got to go and beat Chelsea, and they rely on Arsenal and Chelsea slipping up, which is very rare with the quality in those two sides. So United cannot afford to slip up today. Tottenham, they're going to want victories. They still sit in 5th, but they're under a bit of pressure potentially if they lose this from Brighton behind, and I think they'll be disappointed if they were to lose their position as best of the rest. But yeah, vitally important, especially as you get towards the end of the season. Every game becomes a big game, and I think today could decide really whether United will have European football next season. Some very big line-up decisions from both managers, so let's have a look at the teams, starting with the home side Tottenham, and it's pretty much what you expect with a couple of interesting calls from Martin Ho. Lisa Cott remains in goal, that one we expected. It is at a back 4 of Blackstad, Nilden coming in as the left centre-half to partner Toko Koga, with Ella Morris returning as the right-back. In the pivot, it is Spence and Gautset, the preferred pivot in recent weeks for Martin Ho, with Simonen dropping out. Looking at the attacking 3, then it's Wimberg on the left-hand side, Olivia Holt on the right-hand side, with Micah Hermano in the 10 role. Holt and Hermano could be the other way round. It would be interesting to see what they opt to use, but both players are very capable of playing in the 10 out wide. And then leading the line is Katinka Tamberg. So overall, a strong Tottenham side today, but a few interesting decisions. Ella Morris coming back into the side. That's a positive change for me. I think that a player that, of course, has been out for quite a while, but returning and could be a big boost for Tottenham, who are struggling defensively. I mentioned the City game, I mentioned the Arsenal game, where they were torn apart, really. And while most of that was the setup from Martin Ho, personnel has had a big impact. Claire Hunt picking up an injury at the Women's Asian Cup has been a big blow, and we've seen Bartrip and Nilden rotate those two positions as that left centre-half. It's Nilden coming in today, and I think that, to be honest, we've seen them chop and change purely because Martin Ho doesn't really know which one to favour. They've both had some decent performances, but they've both had some really poor ones, and I think that it makes sense for Nilden to come in today. They were better defensively against Chelsea in the FA Cup, and that is something that they can potentially lean on. But yeah, they have struggled, Tottenham, to keep sides out, and although they've faced some top teams, you'd have still expected them to be a bit stronger in their own third. Looking at the front 4 then for Tottenham, I think that, again, it's exactly what you expect. Beth England, top scorer for Tottenham this season, doesn't start again, but I think that we know the quality of Katinka Tamberg leading that line, a special player, and we always knew it was going to be a headache for Martin Ho to try and fit both Holt and Gautset into the same team. Now, we've seen him favour dropping Gautset into the pivot, and while I think that can work eventually, it really hasn't. Especially against these top sides, they've lacked a bit of defensive steel, and I think that dropping Simonen for if for these bigger games against the better sides is something we've seen Martin Ho do it now against Arsenal, against City, and they got completely overran. So again, going for Gaukset, who we know can play in that pivot, I think it will be interesting to see how that plays out, especially against the quality in United's midfield. Speaking of the visitors then, let's have a look at Mark Skinner's 11. Again, some very big calls here from Mark Skinner. We've spoke about the importance of this fixture and the ramifications it could have for their season, so it was always going to be a very interesting 11 to see what Skinner would opt for. Tullis Joyce is in goal as expected. It is in a back four of Lundqvist at left back, Riviere at right back, with Turner and Letitia the preferred centre-half partnership. In the pivot, it is Miyazawa alongside Lisa Nalsoon. No Ziggy Otioma for Manchester United today. A shame, really. A big miss for them in that midfield pivot, and Nalsoon has got some big boots to fill. On the left-hand side, then, it is Fridolina Rolfo. On the right-hand side, it is Jess Park, with Simia Wujo in the 10 role, the real replacement for Ella Toon since she picked up her injury. And then leading the line, a big decision once again from Mark Skinner. He has opted to go for Leah Schuler. So Vangerheim on the bench, Mallard on the bench. Schuler leads the line for Manchester United this afternoon. An interesting call, and very intrigued to see how that plays out. I think that with this game being at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, there's a lot of room, there's a lot of space to use. So if United can get Leah Schuler in behind the Tottenham backline today, especially if she's running off the shoulder off Nilden, then I think Leah Schuler could get some joy today. So I like that decision from Mark Skinner. He's chosen to go for Leah Schuler in this game, and I think that it is the right call. I think that Leah Schuler has really struggled to get to grips with the UWCL and adjust her life at Manchester United, especially with the abundance of forward options that Manchester United have. I think Schuler has struggled to hit the ground running and get going, and she'll be hoping to get her first UWCL goal today if she gets the opportunities. Very interesting to see what United look like. I think Jess Park of course, is a fantastic player, but has been a bit quiet in the last couple of weeks. And, I mean, overall, no one played particularly well in the Manchester derby. The other positive news for Manchester United today is that Ella Toon does return to the squad. She is on the bench, so a big boost for, and I'm sure United fans will be very happy to see Ella Toon back in the squad, and it'll be interesting to see how many minutes she can play today, whether she does come on at all. I'm sure Mark Skinner would love to be able to give her a cameo, but I don't know how ready she will be. Clearly not ready to start, but can potentially have an impact in the second half. But United have got to learn from the two games against Tottenham earlier in the season. I think it's very interesting that while Tottenham have been torn apart in some games against the top sides, they've also looked really strong. They got that draw against Man United. They got a point off Arsenal as well. So it will be very interesting to see how they look. I think personnel wise, it's quite aggressive again from Martin Ho. So I think he could have got that one wrong again, and I think it will be disappointing if they do find themselves. Of course, they can create chances going this aggressive, and we saw that they got goals in the Arsenal games. They got goals in the Manchester City game. But when you concede 5 or 6 up the other end, it doesn't matter how many you've scored. So I'll be very intrigued to see whether Martin Ho has gone aggressive again. It looks like he has with the personnel selection, but will the setup be too aggressive and potentially get caught out, especially with the pressing intensity of this Manchester United side? But United have got to take what they can, take what they learnt from the 3-3 draw, which saw, I mean, that game was crazy at the Leigh Sports Village. Tottenham racing into a big lead. United then with a superb comeback, and Fridolina Rolfo making the difference in that one, in that second half with that last minute equaliser. Pure drama, but both sides can take a lot from that draw, and I think we saw in that game how both these teams can get the better of each other. Tottenham have the ability to undo Manchester United, especially a United side that aren't really in form, but Tottenham coming into this, 4 losses on the bounce, United will fancy themselves to get back to winning ways, and this will be an important victory. Not only just to get 3 points on the board, but if United can come into this and play well, it will give them belief going into the last 2 games that they can get themselves back into the top 3 and qualify for the Champions League once again next season. But it will be very interesting to see how this plays out. Great to see people getting involved in the live chat already. India Dakasuni says Tottenham to win, Hermano to score. I think that Maika Hermano is an interesting player. I think she's looked very, very bright since she joined Tottenham, has picked up a couple contributions, but a lot of people also questioning why Chelsea ended up loaning her out. But yeah, a top player, Hermano, and again, I look at that Tottenham front four and against a United defence that has looked quite leaky at times this season. That's definitely something that that Tottenham could look to exploit. And if players like Holt and Hermano can get on the ball, they can look to cause United some problems. And Leah as well, saying hi, welcome everyone. If you are just tuning in then, we've got 4 minutes till kickoff, so get your predictions into the live chat. Let me know your thoughts going into this one before we get underway at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and I'll make sure to read them out. As for myself though, I think it's a really difficult one to call. It is a very, very tough one. I think that the importance of the fixture could have an impact on Manchester United, and it'll be very interesting to see whether they raise their game and show why they deserve to be in the Champions League, or whether that pressure gets the better of them and they allow Tottenham to creep in and take something from this game. But I'm going to say Manchester United to win. I think they've got what it takes to get the result here and keep their European dream alive. I will say Tottenham 1, Manchester United 2. I think it'll be a very close game. Tottenham, keeping them very, very honest, but United just about getting the 3 points on the board. I will say Tottenham to get an early goal through Katinka Tamberg, and then it'll be another similar to that game in the Leigh Sports Village. I think it'll be another comeback in the second half from Manchester United. I will go for Leah Schuler to get her first OSL goal and level the game, and then it will be heroics from Fridolina Rolfo once again to save Manchester United, to get the win on the board, and to give them a chance going into the final 2 match weeks of qualifying for Europe. A couple of predictions then in the live chat. Kyle was going for a 2-0 Manchester United win. Again, very similar line of thinking to me. And Jack's gone for Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0, which I would be surprised, but I think that it would sum up Manchester United to draw this game 0-0, a game of such importance and not much happening in the end. Looking at the poll in chat then, 37% of you think Tottenham will win this game, 59% going for Manchester United and 4% going for a draw. So pretty even poll, to be fair. Of course, United probably expected to win this game, but a good 30-40% of viewers thinking that Tottenham are going to take the victory in this one. And I think that sums up Manchester United's problems this season. It sums up how they've not got results over the line, and against sides like Tottenham, they've had a really difficult time of it. And while they haven't, the problem for United is that they haven't beaten the top 3. They've really struggled to get results against the top 3, and when you don't do that, you're then relying on getting results against the sides below, and they've struggled to do that as well. Or even if they've got the results, those games have been a lot tighter. I'm talking about Tottenham, Brighton, teams like that United have really struggled to get results over the line. I mean, of course, they dropped points to West Ham as well a couple of weeks ago. I mean, West Ham have been one of the worst sides in the league this season. So it really depends what version of Manchester United turns up here. Are we going to get the United that went away to the Emirates and got a result, picked up some brilliant wins at the start of the season? Or are we going to get the version of Man United that have struggled in games, that have looked defensively weak and have looked tired, if anything? And it'll be interesting to see how they react after the international break. We know that the top sides, who have a lot of players going on international duty, usually struggle to get going. City yesterday, a massive drop of points with their losses, maybe open the door a little bit for Arsenal to sneak back into the title race. It would take a lot, but still another prime example of how these top sides can struggle to get back up to their top level after an international break, and that is something that Tottenham have got to try and use, even if Tottenham have had quite a few players on international duty themselves. But a decently strong attendance here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for what is a massive game in the context of this season. With only 3 games to go, it is vital, especially for United, that they get points on the board, and it is a strong away showing from the Red Devils. Of course, we'll be keeping tabs on Chelsea taking away at Everton. That is also another big game. The Blues need to keep their points tally up and not allow United to close the gap. And of course, a big game at the bottom as London City host Leicester. Leicester fighting for survival, and realistically today poses their best chance of getting points on the board. It will be United to get us underway here, and Hinata Miyazawa knocks the ball back and Letizia can go long. We are underway at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A massive 90 minutes of WCL action coming your way. United realistically need to win today if they want to qualify for Europe next season and want to keep the pressure on Chelsea and Arsenal, who currently occupy those two Champions League qualification places. And it's Lundqvist on the left-hand side now with the throw. Goes long into Rolfo. Here is Schuler. Nice combination on this left-hand side from United, but it's turned over by Tottenham, and Olivia Holt will clear that all the way up the pitch. Letizia being hassled by Tamberg. Can go back, though, to Tullis Joyce and United looking to just settle into this game and again, can't afford a slow start, cannot afford any sloppy mistakes or to get caught out by Tottenham's quality. So, yeah, needing a fast start here. Tullis Joyce goes long. Holt and Miyazawa are clashing for it, and the referee gives Tottenham the free kick. Miyazawa there, just a little bit too aggressive on Olivia Holt. And Tottenham are going to get an opportunity to work this ball forwards, although they decide to take it all the way back. And again, we know how Tottenham are quite brave in possession, especially against these big sides, and it has caught them out this season, but it also has worked at times. Nilden looking to go through the lines, and that's pounced on by Jess Park, who does well to wriggle out of danger and give it to Nalsund. Letizia now, lovely ball roll to see off Tamberg, and she looks to go wide, but that is going to go off the pitch and out for a Tottenham throw. So Cholo under the screen says, hi, good prediction by you for yesterday's game, 1-1 Bayern Barca. Yes, I was very happy with myself there. Managed to nail that prediction, and hopefully I will continue that theme throughout today. I said Tottenham 1, Manchester United 2, so we'll be very interesting to see whether I can make it 2 predictions from 2 in the same amount of days. Here's Toko Koga on the ball for Tottenham, a massive part of Martin Ho's defence, and she's going to need another strong performance in a Tottenham side that have been shipping goals for fun recently. The direct ball, though, is cut out by Turner. And Millie Turner, a player who I think that since coming back from her injury has not quite looked sharp as expected. She was out for quite a while. I wasn't expecting her to come in and you know, look brilliant from day dot, but definitely has struggled to adjust back into that starting role. Of course, Dominique Janssen as well, having her own fitness issues hasn't helped because it's meant that Turner has had to play quite a few minutes. But yeah, again, for United, it is quite a small bench. No Janssen, no Turland on the bench, and no Ziggiotti either. You're missing key players, which really doesn't help when you come to these crunch matches where you're needing a result. Tullis Joyce with the ball in her hands now, throws it out to Riviere, who looks to go to Park, but she's dispossessed. It was deemed, though, to run off the pitch, and United will get the throw. And it is Riviere who goes long and down the line, but the referee isn't happy. Thinks that she took it way too far up the line and will pull it back. But there is a good intensity to United's play to start this game. They've started strongly and done well to get themselves on the ball and kind of put Tottenham under a bit of pressure. Riviere then take 2 with the throw-in, and to be fair, she's kind of taken the same liberties that she did with the first one. That long throw, though, is swept up by Nilden, and she can give it back to her goalkeeper. Kopp into Spence, who's dropped into this left-back position now. Blackstad, Gautset on the ball, can go further right to Koga. Koga finds the ball into Morris. Morris running at Lundqvist now. Forced backwards into Hermano. Hermano now to Gautset. Sinja Gautset plays a 1-2 with Morris. Picks out Holt now in a tight area, and she's dispossessed. Good defending between Lundqvist and Miyazawa to turn the ball over. United go long. Good hold up by Schuler, but she's dispossessed, and Koga can get Tottenham back on the ball. Here's Spence now. Spence into Nilden. Nilden not under much pressure here, having just to stand on the ball. Shifts it now into the path of Blackstad. Blackstad goes up the line into Wimberg, who's timed the run well and has got the wrong side of Nalsoon. Matilda Wimberg now down the left-hand side for Tottenham. Nalsoon gets back in well. Gautset looks to take on Awujo. Dispossessed now. The ball ricochets nicely back into the path of Sinja Gautset, who looks to take on Awujo. Good pace, great stuff from Awujo though. Brilliant defending to muscle Gautset off the ball and to force Tottenham backwards. Here is Nilden. Laura wanted to speak his thoughts on Schuler. Schuler's been a difficult one. I think that she really hasn't got going at Manchester United so far, but it was always going to be difficult with the number of options they have in their front line. Schuler, Turland, Vangerheim, even Mallard. You know, when you've got 4 players who can play the same position, it was always be difficult for Schuler to get consistent minutes and to get up to speed. But I think she has struggled and she's in desperate need of finding that goal. Tottenham coming down the left-hand side now. Wimberg has a go, but that is over the bar. Bit of a half cross, half shot there from Wimberg. And not quite what she was looking to do with it, but good stuff from Tottenham. Gautset just afforded too much time and space in the middle of the park. And I think it was a cross from Wimberg that she just got a little bit wrong. But yeah, I think Schuler is in desperate need of finding that first goal. I mean, she scored in the FA Cup against Burnley, but United didn't sign Leah Schuler to score goals against Burnley. They signed her to score goals against the best sides in the league. And speaking of scoring goals, a big goal at Goodison Park. It is Everton 0, Chelsea 1. Sam Kerr there, and that is a brilliant start for the Blues. And Sam Kerr, who has looked pretty decent since she returned in certain games, has found another goal there and a big goal for Chelsea. And that is not the news that Manchester United fans would have liked to hear. Chelsea already in front after just 6 minutes. And that really puts United under a lot of pressure. And it's going to be a big ask now if they want to try and to keep pace with Chelsea and get into the top 3. Brilliant start for Chelsea though. United, not the news they were hoping for. And Laura saying, yeah, definitely underperforming. Absolutely. I think that it was always the risk with Schuler because she wasn't in the best of form when she joined. And I think that we're hoping to see a bit of an explosive burst, but that just hasn't materialised. Speaking of explosive burst, Gautset here beats Nalsoon. Hermano can now pick out Blackstad on the left-hand side. Riviere does well. Forces Blackstad to go backwards. Here is Spence. Spence into Hermano now, who finds a brilliant pass into Gautset, who can have a go here. Big block, though, from Hinata Miyazawa. And Lundqvist can clear. But a good start from Tottenham. First 8 minutes. And the home side have definitely been the better of the two. Morris now with a big long throw. Lovely ball into Holt, who looks to take on Miyazawa. Good from Holt, but Lundqvist recovering in and making the challenge. And she can now find Schuler, who holds it up well, brings Awujo into the game, and that is a random punt forwards that is easily swept up by Amanda Nilden. Jack saying, great to see Ellen Morris back in the side. Yeah, absolutely. Very disappointing that she picked up the injury and probably ruled herself out of contention for the England squad a year or two ago. But great to see her back now, starting for Tottenham. I think she's a top player. And if she can get back to her best and climb through those gears again, then definitely one to watch. Still only 23. But the quality that she showed before the injury was very, very strong. Tottenham looking to go over the top here, but that ball towards Wimberg is claimed by Tallis Joyce, who was off her line quickly. But United, again, it's a slow start here. And while Tottenham haven't really got any shots away or threatened, it's not really the start that United would have hoped for. Here is Schuler, though. Good hold up. Looks to flick it over the head of Nilden, who does well to deal with the ball. Blackstad now battling with Park. That'll run out for a throw. And it will be... I'm not quite sure whose ball. That's going to be United's ball. Last touch deemed to come off Blackstad. But yeah, United not quite got into this game so far. And I think that I'd like to have a bit more possession further up the pitch. Can they use this throw-in to get themselves into position? Riviere on the ball. Fakes the throw backwards, still holding on to it, and eventually does go backwards into Maya Letitia. Letitia looks to dink the ball down the line into Park, cut out well by Wimberg. And another goal at Goodison Park, and I said it was a good start for Chelsea, but they have been pegged back. It's Everton 1, Chelsea 1, and Everton replying within 4 minutes there. Mamiki with the goal, and Chelsea's fast start undone almost immediately, and they are back on level terms at Goodison Park. A big goal for Everton, not what Chelsea needed. Back level there, and United will be a bit happier with that news. Morris with the throw-in now on the right-hand side for Tottenham. Again, goes for the long throw, but cut out by Miyazawa. Falls back for Morris, who can find Tamberg. Micah Hermano on the ball now. Morris on the touchline, does well to keep it in. Hermano. Back into Koga. I have to say, Tottenham have looked very secure on the ball, which is very positive to see. But United just can't seem to find a way to break it up. Here's Olivia Holt now. Lovely turn and a ball in towards Tamberg. Holds it up nicely. Lays it back to Micah Hermano. Holt looks to play the ball through the lines into Morris, who will race Lundqvist to get there. But again, really good defending from the United fullback. And a big interception, but Lundqvist passes cut out by Hermano and then smashed out of play by Rolfo for a Tottenham throw. But again, it's Tottenham trying positive things, trying to make things happen. Lundqvist with a big intervention to stop Morris progressing. Koga now on the ball. But yeah, not what Chelsea were looking for. So despite the early Sam Kerr goal, all 3 games are still level. London City 0, Leicester 0. And as I said earlier, it's a big game for Leicester. Feels like their best chance to get points on the board. Of course, if they were to take the win today, they would go only a point behind West Ham, which would give them something to fight for in the last 2 game weeks. Here is Spence. Plays it short towards Gautset. Gautset now into Olivia Holt, who looks to burst away and can release Morris down the right-hand side. The ball swung in by Morris. Looked to go goalwards by Tamberg. Big block, though, by Maya Letitia. And United do get it clear, but Tottenham, again, putting the Red Devils under pressure, and it's Spence now. Holt into Gautset, combining nicely. In that midfield 3 is just linking up so well. Gautset finds Holt in the half space. Great ball from Olivia Holt. Letitia's clearance falls to Wimberg, who gets it to Tamberg, but the heavy touch is pounced on. Spence now. Gautset on the edge will have a go. It's deflected wide, and it will be a Tottenham corner. Really good spell this from Tottenham. United under a lot of pressure. And a nick there, I think, off the inside of, I think it was Noel Soon's boot. But again, Tottenham keeping United pegged deep in their own penalty area. And a corner now for the home side. Gautset lets fly, and yeah, a big block from Noel Soon. Sees that go just past the post. Wimberg over the corner then for Tottenham. Plenty of bodies in there in a white shirt. Can she pick one out? Wimberg is a deep ball looking for Tamberg. It's headed goalwards and it's over. Onto the roof of net onto the roof of the net from Katinka Tamberg. But a good corner that from Wimberg, and Tamberg did enough to get away from Rolfo. It's a good header, but just a bit too much height on it. Does well, though, to give herself a bit of space there, Tamberg, to get the header away, but yeah, just got under it. Laura says, I'm uncomfortable with how good Spurs are at the moment. Yeah, Tottenham have started this game well. And I think that will concern United, because I mentioned how Tottenham got torn. Tottenham tried to play like this against Arsenal and City and got torn apart. But at the moment, Tottenham are playing through United. And that is a big problem. Only 14 minutes in, though, so plenty of time for United to get going. But if this early start continues and Tottenham keep the momentum, then United are soon going to find themselves in a bit of trouble. Here is Wimberg on the left-hand side. Goes back to Blackstad. Nilden on the ball now. It's just too easy for the Tottenham centre-halves. United aren't being aggressive enough in the press. That there is, though, is too aggressive from Jade Riviere and will concede the free kick. But, yeah, Nilden and Koga have got so much time to work out where they want to play it, and it's just allowing Tottenham to get so far up the pitch. Spence into Koga. But it's another example of Mark Skinner playing quite reserved in a big game. And to put those, to put that momentum into numbers, 70% of the ball for Tottenham in the first 15 minutes. Here is Blackstad battling away with Park. Does well to skip away from her. Here's Spence to Gaupset. Blackstad to Drew Spence. Goes out wide to Wimberg, who swings the ball into the box. It's headed goalwards by Tamberg. But Talis Joyce can just watch that run into her gloves. A bit of a miscue there from Tamberg. Not quite the connection she was looking for, and positive from Tottenham, but not threatening. Talis Joyce then is going to go direct here, looking to find Rolfo on the left-hand side, who does well to beat Morris to it. Rolfo inside to Awujo. Lundqvist now. Into Turner. Here is Hinata Miyazawa. Park now on the ball. Miyazawa. Great switch of the play into Riviere. Superb from Miyazawa. Riviere now looks to cross it in first time. Does go through the penalty area, but we kept alive by Fridolina Rolfo. Rolfo now looks to beat Morris, but brilliant defending from the Tottenham fullback, and she turns it over. Here's Holt now. Miyazawa on her back, so she uses Koga, who goes long. Hermano and Tamberg challenge, and they kind of crash into each other, and that will be a United throw. Phil, welcome to the streams this afternoon all. Welcome, Phil. Opening encounters definitely belonging to Tottenham have looked much stronger in the first 17 minutes. United yet to get going. 4 shots for Tottenham in the first 17 minutes. 70% of the ball. United are yet to have an effort in this game. And again, it's sloppy from United. Lundqvist throws it into Rolfo, who tries to play a 1-2 with her, gets the pass wrong and puts it out for a throw. And it's the simple things like that. It's the basics. It's really sloppy from United to start this game, and Tottenham will be frustrated that they haven't managed to take advantage of it so far. 9 touches in the opposition box for Tottenham in these first 17 minutes. All the stats looking positive, but the one stat that matters is goals, and Tottenham haven't found one yet. Spence across to Toko Koga, but you look at this. Koga is under no pressure at all, and she can just feed the ball nicely into Wimberg, who's cut inside into the middle of the park. Hermano. Back to Wimberg. It's just so easy for Tottenham right now to move the ball around under not much pressure and, pick out the perfect pass. Blackstad inside to Wimberg. Lovely touch from the Tottenham winger. Spence feeds it into Gaupset, who's managed to bypass the midfield. Good recovery from Awujo. And Tottenham are forced backwards. Spence on the ball now. Inside to Wimberg, who has plenty of options. Goes out wide to Hermano. Space for Tottenham on this right-hand side. Hermano swings it in, looking for Wimberg at the back post. It's kept alive by Tamberg. Park can hook it clear. Only as far as Drew Spence will have a go from range. But that is well wide of the mark from Drew Spence. Definitely the right decision to take the shot on, but didn't quite catch it in the way she would have hoped. Again, it's a nice move from Tottenham. It's good from Hermano down this right-hand side. The ball in was a floater, but kept alive by Tamberg. The clearance from Park wasn't convincing. And yeah, Drew Spence looked to just open up her body, curl it into the far corner, but got that one wrong. Talis Joyce going long then. Header won by Morris. Back towards Turner, who is forced back to her goalkeeper. Laura saying United at the start of the season wouldn't have made such sloppy mistakes. Yeah, full fit United. You got Tooney in that midfield. You got Ziggiotti in there as well. Would have looked a lot more secure on the ball. But at the moment, They're just struggling to get a foot on the ball. This is better, though. Nice combination between Nalsund, who can now shift it into Lundqvist. Turner. Miyazawa now. This is the problem, is that when United do have the ball, it's too deep in the field to do anything with it. They can't find, they haven't got that. The front four are pretty invisible at the moment. The ball is fed into Awujo and she's dispossessed by Holt, but the pass forwards is picked off by Letitia, and now there's space on the right-hand side for Riviere. Comes inside to Park. Park now shifts it once more to Awujo. Needs an option on the left-hand side, but Rolfo has tucked in. So holds onto the ball herself. Awujo can now use Lundqvist, who's dispossessed by Hermano. And again, as soon as United enter the Tottenham third, the move breaks down. Hermano, though, losing out, and it will be a United throw. Anthony saying, where is Igiotti Olmo? Not quite sure. She's not in the matchday squad today, so I can only assume that she is part of the ever-growing injury list for United. I think she did. It was only a one-game suspension, which she did serve against Manchester City. Here is Rolfo. Turner into Lundqvist. This is better from Manchester United. Rolfo with a good burst, gets the ball in, but charged down by Morris and put out for a corner. And the first signs of positivity for Manchester United in this game. Rolfo getting down the left-hand side and winning her side a set piece. Maya Letitia will come over to take. And this is an opportunity for United just to get their first shot of the game. Still yet to have an attempt on goal in this one. Can they forge one from this corner? It's got to be a good ball from Letitia. It's going to be an in-swinger. Plenty of red shirts in there, but they've got to pick one out. Letitia then puts it on top of the goalkeeper and ends up going on top of the goal and behind for a goal kick. Poor delivery from Letitia and a wasted chance for United. Anthony asks, why is Mallard not starting? A big call by Mark Skinner to opt for Letitia, to opt for Schuler up front and Rolfo on this left-hand side. I think he's gone for a bit of presence and a bit of hold-up play, but the problem is they haven't managed to get the ball to either of them, really. I think that they want to try and have that physical battle and use Rolfo as someone that can just hold the ball up, but they have struggled to do that. Here is Nilden. So much space for Tottenham to use. Wimberg now receives it. Here's Spence. Back to Matilda Wimberg. Better press from United forces Wimberg back into Nilden. Koga now on the ball. Can bring it forwards. Positive touch. Hermano into Morris, who miscontrols it, but does... Well, apparently, she kept it in, and then the linesman on this near side changed his mind and said that she didn't. Bit of a weird call, but not quite. But just a bit of a heavy touch, as expected with Morris, who has just returned from a long injury. Saley, welcome to the stream, says United playing poorly again. Yeah, really struggled to get going in this one. Although this is a good drive from Awujo, who finds Jess Park now on the right-hand side. Park coming inside for United. A brilliant drive from Jess Park. 3 players, though, beaten. The 4th standing in her way. Morris making the intervention. United keeping the ball alive, though. Riviere bursts past Wimberg into the space. Can cut the ball across the box. Headed away by Morris. Only as far as Rolfo, who can find Park. And the shot is skewed well up into the air. And Blackstad will smash that one upfield, looking for Tamberg. Letitia does well to win it. And Turner now on the ball. Better, though, from United. Jess Park getting on the ball, making things happen, but she just ran out of options. Here is Miyazawa. Letitia, Riviere. Nalsund looks to go back to Riviere. Much better football from United. Riviere cuts it back to Awujo. Can she get the shot away? Is forced back to Riviere. who is in an offside position. That's really sloppy from Awujo. She's got to realise that Riviere was always going to be offside there. And Tottenham with a bit of a reprieve. But yes, just that was better, much better from Manchester United. A lovely combination down the right-hand side, but it just didn't materialise into anything, and that final ball wasn't quite what they were looking for. But they've reacted well, United. They're growing into this game. They just need to have those combinations and have those good moments more consistently. Here is Lisa Kopp. Goes to Toko Koga. Back to Kopp. United are doing just enough now to prevent Tottenham from progressing as often as they were, but this is good from Martin Ho's side. Nilden, Koga. Morris down the line into Hermano. Inside to Spence, who looks to go back to Hermano, but another strong intervention from Lundqvist, who has had a good game on this left-hand side. Lundqvist finds Park. One more wide to Riviere. She is denied progress, though, and is forced backwards to Turner. Letitia. Now Sund. Can United threaten here? Park, Schuler, Riviere back into Schuler. Leia Schuler wins a side of throw in a tight space. Tidy stuff from the United forward, who hasn't really got involved in this game so far, but that was better. Getting on the ball, holding it up nicely and winning a side of throw. Riviere then is going to turn this into a long throw. Not many options in there for a long throw, really. Does end up finding the edge of the box. It's flicked on by Rolfo, and that is given as a Tottenham goal kick. United not happy, but looked to be the right decision by the referee. Not really sure why United are going for a long throw there. They haven't got many players to pick out with that kind of ball. Good throw, though, from Riviere, deep into the penalty area. But apart from Rolfo, you're asking a lot of anyone else to really challenge. Tottenham back on the ball then. It's Drew Spence in the pivot. Here is Gautset. Lovely pass into Hermano, who puts it round the corner into Toko Koga, who takes her time on the ball, and it's a misplaced pass by Koga, and Schuler can pounce on it. Good recovery, though, by Spence, and United really should have done more with that. A misplaced pass from Koga, and United just couldn't fashion it into an opportunity. Schuler, the one winning it back, but just a heavy touch gave Spence the chance to get back in and recover. Here is Koga. Across to Gautset. Lovely drive and a brilliant ball into the path of Holt. Morris looks to go direct into Tamberg. Letitia will sweep up, but she's under pressure here and is going to be forced to smash it up the line. Schuler, really good hold up. Can find Rolfo. Rolfo does really well to skip away from Hermano, who drags her back, and that will be a Manchester United free kick. But United are certainly warming into this game. That possession just shifting was 70% for Tottenham. That is now reduced to 60%. United just getting on the ball more frequently and breaking up Tottenham's play. And Tottenham haven't really come forward in the last 5-10 minutes. Riviere on the ball now on the right-hand side. Could use Park and does look to go down the line into the United winger. But a fair challenge from Blackstad to win it back. Does leave Park on the floor, but Tottenham will play on. Spence nearly dispossessed by Schuler, but does get the pass away to Kopp. Lisa Kopp into Spence now. Plays it round the corner into Koga. Back to Kopp. Gautset can now pick up the ball in midfield. Spins nicely on it and gives it to Wimberg, who takes a heavy touch and has somehow held on to it despite being on the floor. United do eventually win it back though, and they can now recycle this ball. Tullis Joyce goes long, picked off by Gautset, who can now find Holt. Poor distribution for Tullis Joyce. Can Tottenham punish now? Spence out to the right-hand side with Morris, who comes inside, uses Gautset. Now Olivia Holt plays it inside to Gautset. Lovely 1-2 between them. Holt looking to wriggle through the penalty area, but a good intervention from Rolfo can get it clear, and she smashes it into Hermano to win her side the throw. Anthony's saying United look isolated on the ball most times. Yeah, I think that, again, the big pitch is something that United don't really favour. We've seen some of their best performances coming at the at the Leigh Sports Village on a smaller pitch, but I think they are struggling a bit and they're getting pulled apart. I mean, Tullis Joyce there, the poor distribution lands to Gautset, and everyone in a United shirt just feels so far away from each other. Again, United sloppy from their own throw, and Gautset is looking to progress through the middle. Cut out, though, by Miyazawa. Big goal at the other end of the UWCL. It is London City Lionesses 0, Leicester City 1. A big goal for Leicester, and Tottenham are looking for a goal themselves here. Hermano down the right-hand side, charged down by Turner, and behind for a Tottenham corner. But a massive goal for Leicester City in their fight for survival. They are currently leading against London City Lionesses, which would put the Foxes only a point behind West Ham. And of course, Leicester have got a game in hand against Arsenal on Wednesday. Would take a lot, but strange results can happen when sides are fighting relegation. Back to the top end then of the table, and Tottenham have got a corner here against Manchester United. Wimberg over it on this near side. Good delivery from Wimberg. There's a player down. Tullis Joyce can punch it clear, but United not really dealing with it, and eventually Rolfo does hack it clear. And while Tottenham are recycling this, there's another goal. London City Lionesses have responded immediately to that Leicester City goal. It's London City Lionesses 1, Leicester 1. And just as Leicester put themselves in front, they've immediately conceded. And I think that nothing sums up their season more than that. Shannon O'Brien putting the Foxes in front, but less than a minute later, London City responding, and it's Lucia Corrales with the goal. A crazy 2 minutes there at the Copperjacks. Tottenham have recycled it well here for another corner. There's going to be a pause in play though, because the referee wants to have a word with a couple of players about pushing and shoving. But 2 goals in the Everton-Chelsea game, 2 goals in the London City-Leicester game. Still goalless here. Can Tottenham open the scoring? Wimberg is going to have another go with this corner. Swung in towards Tullis Joyce, who does just about deal with it. Bit of a mess between her and Letitia, but the United goalkeeper can get her hands onto it and claim the ball. Rolls it out now to Turner. Goes to the right-hand side with Riviere. Jade Riviere bursts forward and plays it nicely into Schuler. Good hold up from the United forward. Riviere now into Park. Nilden, though, very assertive, and Spence can come across and smash it out of play. 33 minutes gone here. Still goalless. Tottenham looking the better side, but I mean, we are 33 minutes into the game and neither side has had a shot on target. That is not great for either of these teams, especially Manchester United, who need to win today. Here is Tullis Joyce on the ball. Goes out wide to Turner. Lundqvist now can go down the line. Rolfo up against Koga, was pulled back, and it will be a free kick for Manchester United. But yeah, well, the goals are flying in elsewhere, but at the moment we look very far off getting a goal in this one. United recycled the free kick back to Tullis Joyce, who goes long towards the right-hand side looking for Jess Park. That, though, is well seen out by Uli Blackstad. And Tottenham will get the throw. Gautset back to the taker Blackstad, who can use Lisa Kopp, who has stepped up here to split the centre halves. Koga to Kopp. Who uses Nilden. Again, the Tottenham centre-halves and Kopp have enjoyed a lot of the action today on the ball, but just passing it between themselves. Koga looking to go direct into Tamberg. Dispossessed, though, by Turner. Smashed forwards, and Tottenham, again, will find themselves on the ball. And after all that, we're back with Lisa Kopp. I think Tamberg will be frustrated with how she hasn't really been able to get into this game. Turner and Letizia have done very well to just deal with the Tottenham forward, and potentially that's something that Martin Ho can look at changing in the second half. Nilden to Kopp. Spence now to Koga. Koga inside to Gautset. Gautset can go to the left-hand side with Nilden. Can Tottenham progress now? Blackstad. Wimberg. Couldn't quite find the return pass to her teammate bombing down the left-hand side. Can use Nilden, though. Here is Spence. Koga. Across to Ella Morris. Morris looking for the switch to the play. It was very hopeful, though. Cut out by Riviere, but the clearance falls to Gautset. Nalsoon, though, makes the intervention. Awujo looking to find Rolfo down the line. But Tottenham pounce on it, and it's Morris driving through the United lines. But the pass towards Tamberg is the wrong one. And Tullis Joyce can come out and see to that ball. 9 minutes to go then. Have your say in the live chat. Do you think we're going to get a goal in this first half? Neither side's had a shot on target yet, but can one of these two sides find the breakthrough in the final 9 minutes? Personally, I don't think we will. I think it's been a very close affair. Not much to separate the two sides. But all it takes, you look at the quality on that pitch, and all it takes is a moment of magic from someone to spark this game into life. Here is Wimberg. Goes down the line, up against Park, is bursting away from Jess Park. Wimberg cuts back, but a big tackle from the United winger, and she can get the ball clear. And Schuler does well, actually, to keep it on the pitch. Now finds Awujo. The touch is heavy, though, and Gautset picks it up for Tottenham. Brilliant drive from Gautset. Does have to turn back on the ball. Does find the pass to Blackstad. Spence now into Gautset, who takes it with a brilliant turn. Looks to get the shot away, but can't. Goes backwards into Wimberg. Blackstad now with options. Goes to Gautset. Spence. Lovely little dink into the run of Olivia Holt. Holt now in the United penalty area. Goes to Wimberg. Thought about crossing it, but dummies it and goes backwards. Nilden into Spence. Spence looking to go through the lines. It takes a flick off Awujo, and that will run out for another Tottenham corner. Nice move from the Lily Whites, but not quite finding a shooting opportunity. The Tottenham fans, though, getting behind their side as they push to find the opener. Does look to be an issue here for Blackstad. I think she's just grazed her knee, but don't think it's going to be terminal. So Wimberg will get ready to set up for this corner. Third corner of the game for Tottenham. The first two haven't really troubled. Can this delivery from Wimberg be a little bit more dangerous? Matilda Wimberg swings the ball in. It's an outswinger. It's not a bad ball. Tamberg keeps it alive. It bounces. An overhead kick attempt. Tamberg goalwards. And Tullis Joyce claims it nicely. Again, a lot of bodies throwing themselves towards that ball, and it was Tamberg who managed to get the header towards goal. Who had the overhead kick attempt in there? It was Matilda Wimberg. No, was it Wimberg? I can't see now. I think it is Morris, actually, who's being held with the acrobatic attempt that flicked it towards Tamberg, whose header was straight at Tullis Joyce. Koga. Across to Nilden. who again has the time and the space just to stand on the ball. Blackstad has returned to the action after receiving a bit of treatment. Nilden into Olivia Holt. Now Blackstad finds Spence, who's dropped into this left-hand side position. Wimberg now tries to take on Riviere. Opts to go backwards. Spence, Holt now. Senior Gaupset. Can Tottenham find a way forwards? Gaupset can go across into Toko Koga. He goes back to her midfield of Gaupset. Here's Hermano looking to take on Lundqvist. Ball in from Hermano and it's headed behind. Good defending from Millie Turner to put it out for a corner. A teasing ball in from Micah Hermano. But Turner doing enough to put it behind. Lovely ball through the lines from Gaupset into Hermano. The delivery is a good one and Turner has to deal with it and does well. But it will be another corner for Tottenham. Matilda Wimberg over it. Again, there's a bit of an issue in the box with lots of pushing and shoving. And someone's on the floor. Not sure what's going on at the back post. It's a collision between Koga and Riviere. All sorts happening from these corners. Looks more like rugby than it does football. The referee's going to have a word with about 3 or 4 players here. I think Riviere feeling the effects of that collision and doesn't look too comfortable with her knee. Not quite sure what happened. We just saw, with Wimberg's ready for the corner and then we saw this, a mess of bodies at the far post. Does look like both Riviere and Koga will be okay to continue, although Riviere still isn't fully comfortable. Does look to be in some pain with that left knee, but will continue for now. And this corner will finally be allowed to go into the box. So Matilda Wimberg to put United under pressure once again. Wimberg with the ball in. It's on top of Talis Joyce, who does well to punch it away. But it's out for another corner. Not a bad delivery from Wimberg. We know one was really going to get on the end of it. But, yeah, definitely needed punching from Talis Joyce. It was goal-bound on its own. And again, there's more issues in the penalty area. Referee's really got to get a handle of this. Tottenham had 5 corners and the last 3 of them have all been stopped because of just people pushing and shoving. Wimberg then will eventually, it's Gaupset and Talis Joyce this time. I mean, why have United not got a player in between Gaupset and Talis Joyce? That feels like a bit of an oversight. Wimberg will go short with this one, plays a 1-2 with Hermano. Now puts it in the area, but Talis Joyce can claim that one easily. The pass from Hermano wasn't the best, and it meant that Wimberg's delivery was a lot narrower than she would have liked. Talis Joyce then will throw this out to Riviere, who plays a brilliant ball down the line to Park. Jess Park now for Manchester United. Driving inside, picks out Schuler, whose touch was positive, but runs herself into trouble. And Tottenham can clear that. 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Riviere with the throw-in on the far side for Manchester United. Plays a 1-2 with Letitia. Now it's Turner on the ball. Back to Letitia, who goes back to Talis Joyce. Man United have just gone from their own throw-in in Tottenham's final third to Talis Joyce. Really struggling to penetrate and to cause Tottenham any problems. Another goal at the Copperjacks Community Stadium. It is London City Lionesses 2, Leicester 1. And what was a brilliant start by the relegation-threatened Leicester. They have now seen their lead, completely fall apart, and London City have come from behind and will now go into the break. A goal to the good. 2-1 there for Ella Maestre's side. It's Koga on the ball now, approaching the 45th minute. Can't imagine there'll be too many minutes of additional time, if any, Not had too many stoppages and neither, no goals or anything. Nilden to Kopp. Koga now. Plays it inside to Hermano. Can Tottenham end the half with a bang? Here is Matilda Wimberg. Goes out to the left-hand side. Blackstad now. The board is up. It's going to be 1 minute of additional time in this first half. Can Tottenham use this additional minute to find a route to goal? Gaupset flicks it past Riviere. Here's Blackstad firing it towards Tamberg. Doesn't quite reach her. And United can hook it clear for a throw. But it's another good ball in from Tottenham. But they haven't met any of them. Tamberg hasn't been able to get on the end of any of these crosses. Holt now on the ball for Tottenham. 30 seconds left of the first 45 minutes here. Gaupset. Here is Drew Spence. Spence goes back to Gaupset, who goes wider into Blackstad. Up against Riviere. Good footwork. Gets the ball in. Hermano can flick it goalwards. Tamberg gets a touch on it as well. But Tullis Joyce can come out and get that one. And that will probably be that for the first half here. Tullis Joyce with their ball in their hands will look to just pump this one long. I won't even get the chance to bump it long. That is the end of the first half here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur 0, Manchester United 0. A uneventful first half in a game that Manchester United have to win to keep their European chances alive, really. And it's been a bit of a slow burner. United yet to have a shot on target. One shot in the whole 45 minutes for Manchester United. That is not good enough. Tottenham, 9 shots, 1 on target. The home side, much the better side here. But a lack of clinicality has really let United off the hook. But it is goalless at the break. And the other scores as well at half-time. Everton 1, Chelsea 1, and London City Lionesses 2, Leicester 1. Chelsea with a fast start, but were pegged back immediately. And that is good news for United, with Chelsea drawing, but they know they need to get the win today to give themselves a really good opportunity of finishing in the top 3. Make sure to get your thoughts down in the live chat from that first half if you were watching the game. If you aren't watching the game, any questions you want to ask me about the first 45 minutes, get them in the live chat and I'll make sure to answer them as best as I can. But yes, a slow first half to begin with, but United never really got going. Tottenham were in control for the majority of the 45 minutes and they will be disappointed that they aren't going into the break ahead. As I say, 9 shots but only 1 on target for Tottenham. They've generated 0.95 XG. Massive underperformance for Tottenham in the final third. They've been strong at moving the ball. They've played through United really nicely, but the clinicality in the final third has really been lacking for Martin Hove's side. And it's a real surprise because you look at that front four and it is full of quality. Holt, Wimberg, Hermano and Tamberg are all top players. So yeah, they'll be disappointed by the struggles they've had in front of goal. But the main play has been much stronger. And I think that is what will be positive for... That's what will be positive for Martin Ho and his side, because they're looking good. The main fundamentals are there. They've looked better on the ball than United. They've played through United really nicely, but they're just struggling with that finishing touch to try and find a way past Tullis Joyce. So Tottenham have been the better side. H says, I've been watching the Chelsea game. It seems like Tottenham are on top. Yeah, absolutely. They've had the better of Manchester United, and I think that has got to be a cause for concern for Mark Skinner's side, because again, we speak about the importance of this game. If they are to draw today, obviously Chelsea are still currently drawing, so that does help a little bit, but they'd still be 4 points behind Chelsea. There'd be 2 points behind Chelsea with 2 games to go. And yes, they've got to play the Blues, but Chelsea could easily turn it around against Everton in that second half, which means United have got to find a way past Tottenham here, which they could, but the performance so far means that they're going to have to work a lot harder. Richard said, I don't think I've quite seen a lazier player than Awujo, quite frankly embarrassing lazy. I think she struggled to get involved, and to be honest, I think that from a, it's not maybe it's not necessarily a laziness point of view, but I think across the 11 for United, it's the same problems that they've had since the turn of the year. Really, the fatigue is, you can tell it's there. Very slow to get going. No one has really looked at 110%. That they just can't seem to match Tottenham's pace. The intensity of the press for United is slower than they'd like. And I spoke about during that first half how easy it was for Koga and for Nilden to have so much time on the ball. But it's because the pressing intensity for United just isn't there, and they're really struggling. And that's where players like Zigiotti, players like Ella make the difference. You know, players that they're off the ball running is ridiculously strong. You know, they do not stop for 90 minutes. They are at 110%. That energy level is always there. United are massively missing those kind of players in this game today. They've not played with the intensity required to challenge and match Tottenham, and that is what's hurting them. And that's in the first half. You know, you don't really see the intensity increase in the second half, because that's when teams get even more tired. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do. Of course, they have got players like Ella on the bench that can come in. You've got Vangerheim and Mallard there as well, who could all inject a bit of energy and pace into that front line. But I'll be honest, I think the Jess parks it pretty tidily, but the rest of the front four for United have really struggled. Schuler again, really quiet, and has struggled to adjust to the WSL anyway. But another 45 minutes where Leia Schuler hasn't really got involved. Rolfo has had some moments, but again, not got involved. Same with Awujo, and that's not good enough. When three of your front four aren't in the game, then you don't stand a chance, really, of causing opposition problems. The pressing intensity isn't there, and they haven't got the front four on the ball, and that is a big problem. I think that it reminds me of the Everton game earlier in the season, away at that was actually at the Hill Dickinson, where Everton went into half-time 1-0 up, and then Zigiotti came on the second half and completely changed the game. And I think that shows how much they miss Zigiotti. The problem today is that Zigiotti isn't in the squad. So there isn't a quick fix of just bring Zigiotti in and then suddenly they turn it. They look much better because Zigiotti isn't available. They're missing that energy. Noel Soons and Awujo don't make up for what you lose in Zigiotti and Toon. And that is what has, that's what's killed them really since Toon got injured, is that they don't have the replacements to match the quality of those kind of players. And in the midfield, when you look at how good that Tottenham midfield is, you've got Drew Spence in there, you've got Sinja Gautset, and you've got Olivia Holt. United are getting overran, and they're really struggling to get on the ball. And it's too easy for Tottenham to progress through central areas. And when you've got players like Gautset and Holt, if you allow those kind of players to get on the ball in those areas, they're going to cause you problems. And the fact that United aren't behind in this game is quite fortunate, to be honest. And I think that they've got to be careful, because if they play like that in the second half, you feel that Tottenham will eventually take one of these chances that they have created. But yeah, overall, Tottenham have been the better side, but the lack of clinicality really letting them down. Phil saying, I don't see it with Awujo. Physically impressive, but I'm not convinced by her footballing ability. I think the problem is, it's a big question of is she at that Manchester United standard? And I definitely think that she can play a part in the squad, but the problem is that Awujo has been relied upon this season to replace what Ella Toon gives you. And that is not, of course, there's not many players that do that, but that is a very difficult task for a player that, is only 22 years old to come in and replace Ella Toon for, every single game, really. It is, that's near on impossible. It's a very difficult task to do, and I don't think she's quite at that ability yet. Could develop into something. I think, as I say, she can definitely play a part in the United squad, but she's clearly not ready to start every single game. But purely the lack of squad depth has meant that Awujo has featured in the majority of games this season with the players that they've missed. But yeah, definitely missing Zigiotti today. They've really struggled in midfield, and when you look at the quality of that Tottenham midfield, it's no surprise as to why United have struggled to get into this game, and why Tottenham are having so much joy. And a strong half for Tottenham, a needed strong half for Tottenham. I think that it's one of those where they really struggled playing this way against the big sides, but they've looked much better today, much stronger, and of course that comes down to a lot to United's performance, but they've managed to play through them, and all the framework is there. I mean, we saw them get tanked, and this is why it's an important half. They're not winning, but they did. When you come into a game losing 4 on the bounce, you're turning up. Manchester United are turning up at your ground. You don't expect to get a result, but they're 0-0 at the moment, and if they were ahead, it would be deserved. But I think it's a difficult one now for how they go about the second half, because United have the quality to cause some problems. United have the quality to turn this game around, and Tottenham will be frustrated that they didn't take advantage while they were on top in that first half. But do I see much changing for United? I mean, not really. Of course, I mentioned those options off the bench. How many minutes can Ella Toone play? That's a big question, because if Toone has got 20, 30 minutes in there, then absolutely bring her on. Vangerheim's a big option. Mallard as well could come in and offer you something. But overall, there's no one that's going to come in there and completely change the midfield around, unless Toone can play longer than we anticipate. But I think that Noel Soond again has just struggled, because, and it's not necessarily that Noel Soond's a bad player, but she's not Ziggy Olma, and that is the main problem for United. And it's the same thing we said. It's that not only is there a lack of squad options in general, but it's a lack of good squad options. I mean, in the first half of the season, they still had Rachel Williams coming on. They've got rid of her, which has helped. But yeah, the lack of squad options has really hurt them this season. And this is another example. This is another 45 minutes where we're sitting here and saying, well, if United had this player, this player, and this player, it'd be a much better game. But because they don't, it's allowed Tottenham into it. And Tottenham have got quality. They just haven't shown it in the final third. I could definitely see a change in the front line. I think Tamberg, although she has had Tottenham's only shot on target in that first half, I could definitely see Beth England coming on. I think that it's one of those where you need to find a way to change that. And to be fair, while England is still out injured, I thought she was back today, but she's not. So that is a big miss. But they've got players they can bring on in the front line. Gunning Williams has looked quite promising when she has come on, but realistically, that front four of Tottenham is good enough to get the job done today. That front four of Tottenham is good enough to find a way through that United backline, who have managed to hold them at bay and to give some United players their plaudits. I think that Hannah Lundqvist has had a really strong game. And again, Letitia and Turner have also looked pretty tidy. Riviere has had another good game. So defensively, they've looked all right, United. But that's because they've been tested. And that's not the position they want to be in. United don't want to be sat here going, well, they've defended well. They want to be thinking about how they've been positive and going forwards. But they have been the side under pressure in that first half. And I look at that Tottenham front four, and if Tottenham have another 9 shots in the second half, one of them's going to go in. Although they've only put 1 shot on target, if the first half is repeated again in the second 45, Tottenham will probably find a route to goal. But yeah, I really hope we get a goal in the second half, because after just 45 minutes with 1 shot on target in it is quite disappointing from a neutral point of view. I thought, this is a big game. I thought, 2 sides that have looked pretty good going forwards but have struggled defensively. I thought we'd see some goals, but it's gone the opposite way, and both sides have actually really struggled in front of goal and are looking to be more secure, which means they're holding on for a point. A point for United right now doesn't look too bad. But not only would it allow Arsenal to gain even more on them, but I'd also expect Chelsea to find a goal in that game against Everton. That, though, is another talking point. Chelsea being held by Everton at half-time. It was a fast start for the Blues. Sam Kerr getting the opening goal after 6 minutes. But 4 minutes later, Yuka Mamiki responding for Everton. And, I mean, that was Everton's only shot of the game. Chelsea have been dominant in that match. 11 shots, 6 on target for Sonia Bonpastor's side. So the fact that Chelsea are level is a very big surprise, and I think that will change very quickly in the second half. So United have got to be wary of that. They can't rely on Chelsea dropping points today. They need to go out and win this game themselves, because Chelsea are very likely to find a second. The other game then, Leicester City losing to London City despite taking the lead, will be very disappointing, but a good turnaround there by London City. Goals from Corrales and Goodwin after a Shannon O'Brien opener. But a needed win for London City. If they can hold on for that, they're winless in their last 5. A big win that would be against Leicester. And to be fair, it would mean that Leicester could be confirmed as bottom of the league today. If Leicester lose and West Ham get a result against Liverpool, then Leicester City would be confirmed in the relegation playoff. So a big 45 minutes for Leicester because they need to get a result to keep themselves in the hunt, really. If not, they will be hoping that that West Ham later on don't get a point or more against Liverpool. Both sides have returned to the field then for the second half. It is a big second half here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0 as it stands. A below par performance from Manchester United in the second half. And we know that they need a win. It is imperative that they get the 3 points today to give themselves any shot at qualifying for the Champions League next season. Top 3 is still achievable even with a draw, but it would be very, very difficult to put it off. The win is needed, and even with a win, they'd still realistically need to go and beat Chelsea on the final day. Can United up the performance from the first half? Will Tottenham continue to be the better side? That is the big question, but a big 45 minutes coming up here. Tottenham looking to seal they would seal 5th place with a win today. United looking to get back to winning ways and keep the pressure on Chelsea and Arsenal. It will be Katinka Tamberg to get us back underway for the last 45 minutes here. The referee is now happy. Blows her whistle, we're underway. A massive 45 minutes. Can United find a way back into this game to get ahead? And there was a change at the break. Awujo was replaced by Melvin Mallard. That one's just popped up on the screen. And we spoke about that being a potential change. That Awujo had struggled in the first 45 minutes, and she is replaced by Melvin Mallard. So Mallard goes out onto the right-hand side, and Jess Park will go into the 10 position. A positive change. And Mallard is on the ball now on the right-hand side. Beats past Blackstad, cuts it back, and it's turned away by Nilden for a United corner. But Melvin Mallard having an instant impact off the bench at half-time and immediately getting down the right-hand side and causing Tottenham problems. And that is exactly what Mark Skinner was looking for straight out of half-time, bringing on Melvin Mallard and injecting a big threat in that United front line. Corner then for the Red Devils on this near side. It is going to be Rolfo to take it. The in-swinger from Rolfo. 3 or 4 red shirts lining up at the back post. Who can Rolfo find? Drills it at the near post. It's flicked goalwards, kept alive by United, but hooked clear by Drew Spencer. Now Tottenham are looking to break forwards. Tamberg into Hermano. Her header, though, is dealt with by Turner, and United have the ball back. Maya Letitia inside to Schuler, who goes back, and United will reset now with Noel Soond on the ball. Here is Letitia. Back to Noel Soond, who again is under pressure, and she's forced back to Tullis Joyce, who will go long with it. Schuler jostling with Nilden. The ball, though, won by Spence. Blackstad now into Gaupset. Shifted backwards into Koga. Holt. Hermano back to Olivia Holt. Uses Ella Morris, who looks to pick out Gaupset, who makes the run beyond. Swept up by Turner. Lundqvist now under pressure from Hermano. Does so well to pick out Park, who can now shift the ball to the right-hand side and get United moving. Riviere up the line into Mallard, who again gets the better of Blackstad and wins a throw. It's been a positive change already. We are 2 or 3 minutes in to the second half, and Melvin Mallard looks up for it. Looks energised, looks ready to get her side in front in this game. Tottenham, though, again showing, hanging on in there, getting on the ball and just making things difficult for United. Long throw then from Jade Riviere up the line Did it take a touch off anybody there? No, it didn't. Ran straight out of play. And it will be a Tottenham throw. So it'll be Blackstad's turn then to send this one down the side. Blackstad backwards into Nilden. Nilden with a poor pass, and it's picked off by Park out of the pitch. He finds Schuler. Great opportunity, gives it to Rolfo. Rolfo's shot, though, is charged down by Koga. Hermano now goes to Morris. Bit of a scare there for Tottenham. It was Nilden's poor pass. Picked off by Park. And then United worked it into the shooting opportunity, but Rolfo's effort charged down. Koga goes long into Tamberg, but she's in an offside position, and the flag goes up. Yeah, just dropped back in there, did Katinka Tamberg. Another goal at Goodison Park, and it is Everton 1, Chelsea 2. The goal that had been coming for the Blues, and immediately fast out of the blocks after the break, and Chelsea are back in front there. A dominant first half. Everton were holding on for dear life, but Chelsea find their way through 2 minutes into the second half. And in an important goal for the Blues, and it's Sam Kerr again at the double for Chelsea to put them back in front. And Tottenham now are searching for a goal to put themselves in front here. Gaupset does well to hold on to it. Here is Olivia Holt, who lets fly. It's a good effort from Holt and a big save from Tallis Joyce to push it behind for a corner. Great effort from Holt. Gaupset, her heavy touch, but she still managed to work it into Olivia Holt, whose positive first touch gave her an opportunity to let fly. And it was a difficult one for Tallis Joyce. The ball skidding up just in front of her, but well watched by the American. And she does enough just to push it behind for another Tottenham corner. But really strong stuff from Tottenham once again. Holt letting fly. Tallis Joyce equal to it. Wimberg then swings the corner in. It's not a bad ball. United just about deal with it, and Rolfo can now hook it clear. And towards the halfway line, where Nilden can bring it down. Nilden across to Blackstad. But yeah, 3 goals each in the other 2 games in the UWCL right now. Can we get our first goal of proceedings here soon? United still only having 2 shots across the entire contest. Tottenham with 10, but only 2 on target. Here is Koga to Kopp. Lovely drilled ball into Blackstad, who spins nicely. It is brought down by Maya Letitia. And the referee is going to have a conversation here with the United captain, who will run away and avoid the yellow card. Spence then with the free kick. Yeah, really good stuff from Blackstad. Just holds it up, looks to spin Letitia. And the United captain just dragging her down as she looked to turn. Koga now on the ball then for Tottenham. Drops it back to Spence. Gaupset. Koga. Has space just to bring it forwards. Lovely drill pass into Tandberg. Koga now can go long again. That is picked off though by Lundqvist, who's enjoyed a very good afternoon on that left-hand side. And United are back in possession once more. Turner looks to switch the play into Riviere. Finds Mallard instead. Dealt with well though by Blackstad, who, has she done enough to keep it in touch? She did, but it is deemed a foul on Melby Mallard. Again, just a bit too aggressive from Blackstad, who jumped up to try and win the ball, but ended up just catching the United forward. Mallard is up and back to her feet, and United will try and use his free kick to create something. Letitia over it, goes short into Park. Back to Maya Letitia, who skips past Tamberg nicely. And now it is Turner. Turner tries to drill it towards Schuler, but Schuler not quite on the same wavelength there, and that will run through. to Lisa Kopp. Kopp to Koga. Space now for Toko Koga to drive forwards. He's opting to turn backwards though and use the goalkeeper once more. Kopp drills it nicely into the feet of Vinberg. Vinberg to Blackstad. Back to Matilda Vinberg. This is good football from Tottenham. Vinberg into Gautset, who burst past Park. Brilliant from Sinja Gautset, who's driving Tottenham forwards now. Shifts it wide to Morris, who will have a go from range. And that is well over hit. And probably not the right decision from Ella Morris, who fancied her chances from there, but didn't quite get the shot right. And Tottenham will be frustrated. Their teammates are quite frustrated in the middle there. Lovely drive from Gautset. And I think the likes of Holt and Tamberg were expecting a cross. That, though, was a wild effort from Morris. And United will have the goal kick. Talis Joyce is going to send this one long then. Looking to pick out Rolfo on that left-hand side. Mallard's the one who traps it down. He's being held all the way by Nilden, and that will be a free kick for Manchester United. Miyazawa plays it back to Turner. Turner into Park now. Lundqvist. Running down the left-hand side, finds Rolfo, who's forced backwards. Good defending by Morris, and now it's Park on the ball. Jess Park, lovely little turn, but the pass towards Rolfo is under hit, and Morris steps up and takes it. Goes back to Koga, who finds Kopp. 10 minutes into the second half then, and again, very much following a similar pattern to the first 45 minutes. Tottenham the ones enjoying the possession and having the better chances. United not creating anything so far. Koga looks to find Gautset, but that is picked off by Miyazawa, and there's space now for United to use. Mallard coming down the right-hand side. Mallard takes aim. Strong save from Lisa Kopp, and that is then hooked behind for a corner by Amanda Nilden. Very strong effort from Mallard. Hit it hard, but straight at Lisa Kopp, and it was palmed away well by the Tottenham goalkeeper. Mallard has brought a bit of fresh air to this second half for Manchester United, and looks to be bringing the energy and something positive for United to try and use. While United are setting up this corner, Chelsea have a third goal at Goodison Park. Ellie Carpenter making it Everton 1, Chelsea 3. And London City have also increased their advantage. It is London City 3, Leicester City 1 in that game. Corner from Rolfo, headed away at the front post by Morris, and Hermano will look to bring the ball forwards. Tamberg can't quite trap the pass though, and United are coming back the other way. Riviere has got space on this right-hand side, crosses it in towards Mallard, who heads it on goal, and that is narrowly wide by Melvin Mallard. Not a bad headed effort by the United forward, but just past the post. Arrived late at the back of the box. It was a great ball in from Riviere. And Mallard heading narrowly wide. Best chance of the game for either side. Mallard does well to out-jump Koga. But Melvin Mallard has come into this game and just completely changed it up. Long ball from Kopp. United, though, now have it back with their centre-halves. Letitia to Riviere. Man United are just starting to wake up in this game. And it's all to do with the introduction of Melvin Mallard. Speaking of Mallard, though, she is dispossessed by Vinberg, but does so well to win it back. Mallard now into Rolfo. Could have released Schuler, but chose not to. Held on to it for too long and gets dispossessed by Blackstad. Her pass, though, is cut out by Letitia, who feeds Schuler in down the right-hand side. Schuler for United looks to cross it in. Big block from Nilden, and that will bounce out for a United throw. But positive from Manchester United. Riviere will have the opportunity to take this. I think She's going for another long throw. Yes, it will be another long throw for Man United, and it's Riviere on the right-hand side. Get some pretty good distance on these, and it's a good one again. It's tried to be flicked goalwards by Schuler, and that is out for a Tottenham goal kick. Didn't quite make the connection that she was looking for. And United looking to try and capitalise on what's been a better couple minutes. That is Anna Sandberg and Ella Toon receiving instructions from the bench. That would be a big boost. Two players just back from injury. Toon and Sandberg are going to be coming on for United in the next few minutes to try and find them a winner. That's a poor back pass. That's a poor pass from Kopp. Rolfo now has it, crosses it towards Mallard, headed away. Fulton now soon on the edge, but can't quite get the effort away. Riviere to Letitia. Good crossfield pass into the path of Lundqvist. Lundqvist now to Rolfo. Gives it back to Lundqvist, who's bombed on. And it's crossed in, headed goalwards by Schuler. Not quite what she was looking to do, though. And it's recycled by United. Here is Riviere. Now soon. Here is Toon. Sorry, Letitia. Thinking about who's coming on in a moment. Here's Turner. Lundqvist on the ball now. Much better from Manchester United in this second half, who have just put Tottenham under a bit of pressure. Hermano manages to dispossess Turner, and Tottenham are going to try and come the other way. Here is Gautset. Nothing in front of her, though, so has to go backwards to Spence. Spence now to Morris. Goes inside to Gautset. Her pass is cut out by Miyazawa, but Spence can recover it. Morris drills it brilliantly into the path of Wimberg. Blackstad back to Nilden, who takes a bit of a heavy touch, but it does end up getting herself on the ball. Half an hour to go here. Still goalless. United going to be introducing changes. Tottenham, though, trying to capitalise on what has been a strong performance. And here is Gautset. Gautset releases Hermano, who's managed to stay onside. Hermano, her shot blocked behind by the recovering Turner. And again, it's a nice breakaway from Tottenham. Good defending from Turner to put it behind. This game is anyone's. Second half has been much more even. Both sides have had their moments. After a dominant first half from Tottenham, United have wrangled back a bit of control, but it's still very even and could swing either way. A goal in the final half an hour could be massive for either side and their finishing position in the UWCL this season. So it will be Tottenham with another corner. They've had quite a few corners in this game. This is now their 8th. Wimberg to take it once again. Again, plenty of players queuing up in the 6-yard box. Good ball in from Wimberg. Tullis Joyce does get 2 palms to it and tips it away. But Holt keeps it alive. Holt up against Turner in the wide area. Brilliant from Olivia Holt. Darts inside, has a shot. Massive block off the line by the United centre-half. Hermano now will drill it hard and low from range. Blocked. Back to Micah Hermano. Ball swung in now by Nilden. Headed away only as far as Spence, who hits it on the volley. Blocked by Riviere. Tottenham keeping it alive. Holt now, brilliant flick. Huge tackle from Mallard to dispossess Olivia Holt. And United are going to look to come the other way, but Hermano sweeps up brilliantly and can just dink that out of play. But some big interventions there from United defenders to keep the scores level. Olivia Holt skipped past Nalsoon brilliantly. Turner with a block on the line. And then the effort from Hermano was charged down by Riviere. And United after that are now going to use this break in play to make some changes. Leah Schuler will be replaced by Ella Toon, and Hannah Lundqvist will make way for Anna Sandberg. Sandberg and Toon back from injury and back on the pitch for United Two players that could have a massive impact on the final 27 minutes here. Ella Toone back for Manchester United. Can she come in and have an immediate impact? So that change will see Melvin Mallard lead the line. Jess Park will return to the right-hand side and Ella Toone will come into the 10. And Sandberg and Lundqvist is a straight swap. Turner's crossfield pass is cut out by Wimberg, but it's a heavy touch. And Letitia can get back in and sweep up. Letitia into Riviere, who goes down the line into Mallard. Mallard back heels it to Park, who does well to keep it in play. Park inside to Mallard. Melvin Mallard now for United. Here is Nalsoon trying to work a shooting opportunity. Shifts it to Toone instead, who is dispossessed by Holt. Holt and Sandberg now trying to work it together, and they do it nicely. It's a nice 1-2. Holt holds onto it and can now release Senior Goutset down the right-hand side. Morris now bursting into the space. Cuts it back. Sandberg just drags her down. And what has the referee given here? It was a bit of a crush between the two of them. And it will be a Tottenham free kick. Morris there being dragged down by Sandberg. And Sandberg, who's just come on the pitch, is now the first player into the book. Yellow card for Sandberg within a minute of coming on. Brilliant football from Tottenham, breaking down the right-hand side. And Morris looked to cut back and Sandberg just dragged her down to stop her cutting inside. Tottenham with a free kick there on the edge of the area here. On the right-hand side, so it's a crossing position. Just got to look to put it on top of the United defenders and try and carve out a scoring opportunity. It's Matilda Wimberg then over this ball. Very intrigued to see what she does with this. Can Tottenham find the breakthrough? Wimberg over the wide free kick. Drills it hard and low. Goutset fires it goalwards. United don't deal with it and it's just past the post. From Morris, I think it was, who got the second shot away. Very smart routine and Goutset should do a lot better. It's drilled hard and low by Wimberg and Goutset has a swing and a miss. Koga keeps it alive and it was Morris with the second attempt that goes narrowly past the post. Another good chance for Tottenham they don't take. And United with a let-off. Very smart idea from the free kick. Goutset just couldn't make the connection with it. Goal kick from Tullis Joyce is intercepted and Hamano is in here for Tottenham. Cuts it back and a big intervention from Lisa Nalsoon to prevent the cutback from reaching Wimberg. Tottenham coming into life after United made the changes, but it's Tottenham who are coming the other way. Throwing into the feet of Goutset. Hamano flicks it to Holt. Hamano back to Morris now. Morris across to Nilden. Nilden's going to have a go from range, drilled hard and low. Letitia's block falls to Wimberg, who flicks it goalwards. Saved well and claimed by Fallon Tullis Joyce. Again, nice move from Tottenham. Wimberg's effort was decent and required saving by Tullis Joyce. Couple of people mentioning a disallowed goal for Chelsea. I haven't quite seen that, but sounds like Chelsea have been prevented from scoring a fourth. Very interesting to see that back later. Tottenham coming forwards again. It's Wimberg bursting his penalty area. Wimberg has a go and it's a big save once again from Tullis Joyce. How much she knew about it, I'm not too sure. But Wimberg with a brilliant drive bursts past Riviere, has a shot from the tight angle, and it's Tullis Joyce. She goes down, she misses the ball, goes through her legs, but she puts her hand down to stop her falling, and I'll give her the credit, it's a good save, but I'm not sure how much she knew about it. Corner for Tottenham then, Wimberg. Tottenham are all over United at the moment. Wimberg with the ball, and it's another good ball. It's bounced around the area, and how has Drew Spence not scored? That is a massive chance. I'm not sure how it's not in the back of the net. The corner bounces through Tullis Joyce challenges with Goutset, misses it. It falls for Spence, who all she has to do is make contact with it, and it would have been in the back of the net from that range. And somehow she scuffs it up. Tottenham should really be ahead in this game. I have no idea how Tottenham aren't winning. That is a massive opportunity. But United survive another scare. Ball long from Tullis Joyce from the goal kick. Bouncing around, Toon dispossessed by Spence. Goutset with a good turn. Pinballing around. Nalsoon's the one who comes away with it. Rolfo now to the left-hand side. Mallard. Can she find someone to release? Gets caught on the ball, but does so well to spin out of it. Brilliant from Melby Mallard. And draws the free kick from Goutset. Superb, twisting and turning through bodies. And eventually the foul coming. But you just look at these stats and you wonder how on earth Tottenham aren't in front. 20 shots for Tottenham to United's 4. But Tottenham have 4 shots on target. 4 shots on target out of 20. So wasteful in front of goal, Tottenham. United with a free kick then. Can they get a goal against the run of play? Letitia fires it in there. It's headed goalwards by Mallard, but that is an easy claim for Lisa Cott. Closing in on the final 20 minutes then. Still goalless. Tottenham have given it everything. I'm not quite sure how they haven't scored yet. But a draw isn't good enough for United. A loss would be even worse. And right now, they look like the side who are most likely to lose this football match. Long ball from Kopp is cut out by Riviere. Letitia's header finds Park. Park back to Riviere now. Toon. Goes all the way back to Tullis Joyce. Turner now. Here is Sandberg. Turner. Under pressure from Hermano. Goes back to Tullis Joyce, who can clear it long up the pitch. The header is won though by Blackstad and it falls nicely for Tamberg. Her pass reaches Wimberg, but she's dispossessed. Letitia goes up the line looking for Mallard. Brilliant strength though from Nilden to come away with it. Nilden into Wimberg, who drives inside superbly. Matilda Wimberg on the charge, looks to go right. It was the correct thing to do, but the pass wasn't quite what she was looking for, and United can clear it away. Morris. Koga now on the ball for Tottenham. Feeds it through the lines into Wimberg. Round the corner to Goutset. Lovely move by Tottenham. Holt now. Wider to Hermano. Hermano now inside to Goutset. One more to Holt. Olivia Holt will dink it into the box here. Away by Letitia. Spence keeps it alive now. Heavy touch by Blackstad, but has a go from goal. And just over the bar for Newley Blackstad. A heavy touch. Looked like she'd overran it, but she did well to get the shot away. And that is smashed over the bar. Tullis Joyce, though, was worried for a second. It's another good move from Tottenham, but the shot is just a little bit wayward. And while neither side has yet to find a goal here, Chelsea have a 4th against Everton. Everton 1, Chelsea 4. Erin Cuthbert with the goal, and that should really put the Blues out of sight in that one. Another 3 points for Von Pastor's side, and it just puts even more pressure on United to try and get a result here. Long ball forwards from Tullis Joyce. Mallard puts Nilden under pressure. Kopp, though, will come out and get there. Rolls it quickly to Toko Koga. Koga inside to Goutset. Goutset with a lovely turn and is now driving the ball forwards for Tottenham Hotspur. Holt, Hermano. Back to Morris. Koga now on the ball. Steps forward bravely and gives it to Hermano. Back to Koga. Lovely combination between the two Japanese internationals. Hermano can't quite beat Sandberg to the ball, and Sandberg does well to clear it into Hermano to win a goal kick. But again, it's nice football from Tottenham, but can't quite find the way through the goal. Still yet to make a change, Tottenham. We know they've got the likes of Gunning Williams on the bench alongside. You could throw someone into that midfield, but I don't think they want to make themselves more defensive. They want to go for the game. They want to be aggressive. They sense an opportunity to pick up a big 3 points here. They've been the better side, and they'll hope to find a winner in the last 17 or so. Talis Joyce's distribution is picked off again, and Tottenham are the ones on the ball. Olivia Holt now plays a lovely give and go with Hermano, and now it's Sinja Gautset. Gautset up against Nalsoons. Drives it inside nicely. Back to Morris. Morris can swing it in. It's a good ball kept alive by Wimberg. But that will run through and Riviere can get it away at the back post. Finds a lovely pass into Jess Park, and Park has space to run into here for Manchester United. Park inside to Toon. Back to Jess Park. The pass though, a little bit overhit. Nilden sweeps up and smashes it out for a Manchester United throw-in. Both sides know how important a goal would be now, and United are going to make their 4th change of the afternoon while Tottenham are yet to make a substitution. Ellen Vangerheim is now going to be thrown in here for Manchester United, and she is going to replace Fridolina Rolfo, I believe, who is coming off. Yes, it is Rolfo. So Vangerheim going onto the left-hand... is she going onto the left? No, so they're going to switch it up again. So Vangerheim will now lead the line, and Melvin Mallard will go out onto the left-hand side. Mallard came onto the pitch on the right-hand side, was then moved up front when Toon came on, and has now been moved onto the left-hand side. A very versatile forward is Melvin Mallard. Throw in for Manchester United now. Riviere back to Letitia. Turner. Sandberg now into Mallard on the left-hand side. Lovely turn inside and a great switch of the play from Mallard to pick out Park. Park now waits for the overlap of Riviere, gets the pass slightly wrong though. Blackstad can nip in, but Park will be the one to keep it alive. Letitia dispossessed too easily, and Park bails her out there because Blackstad was looking to burst away into the space that was left by Letitia. 2 now on the ball, looking for Nalsoon. That's a lazy pullback by Micah Hermano, and that will be a United free kick and a yellow card for the Tottenham winger. Eventually, and there we go. We'll go into the book for that one. A bit too aggressive and just pulled back Nalsoon as she was looking to progress. United then with the free kick. They go short. And Sandberg can release Mallard down the left-hand side. Mallard thought about crossing it. Goes to Toon. Toon now can have a go from range. It's well hit. Kopp gets there but spills it. And Koga, luckily for her, gets there first. Riviere now on the right-hand side. Swings it back into the box. Mallard heads it towards the edge. Toon now on the ball for United. Sandberg. Back to Ella Toon. Goes to Turner. Turner's going to have a go from range here. It's struck well, but struck wide by the United centre-half. And again, it's another wild effort in a game where United really haven't created anything. I mean, Tottenham had loads of shots, but none of them really clear-cut. Still managed to create 1.73 XG. But 21 shots for Tottenham and only 4 on target. They should be ahead, but they've been so poor in front of goal. This ball long from Kopp is pounced on by Riviere. She plays a 1-2 with Park. Riviere now looks to release Vangerheim down the line, but that is well shielded by Koga and out for a Tottenham goal kick. 13 minutes to play then. If you are tuning in, let me know in the live chat, who do you think is going to win this game? If anyone, are we going to get a goal in this football match? Let me know what you're thinking as we close in on the final 10 minutes. Still definitely could go either way. But yeah, will we get a goal in this one? Will we get a winner? Or is it going to remain as a 0-0 draw? Ball down the line from Tottenham, looking for Wimberg. She's muscled off. And United have it back. Here's Talis Joyce. Looks to go long. to find Mallard, but Spence cuts it out. Here's Morris, looks to try and find Hermano. Overhit though, and that will return to the United goalkeeper. Tullis Joyce rolls it out to Letitia. Letitia wide to Sandberg. Ball down the line. Headed away though by Nilden. Spence now gets onto the rebound. Wimberg looks to try and burst away from Miyazawa. Good defending though from the United midfielder. Forces Wimberg back into Blackstad. Nilden now. Look to come forwards, but turns back and gives it to Kopp. Feels this Toon long-range shot to win it for United. I could definitely see that coming. United not really created much, but again, someone like Toon can provide those moments of magic. Both sides have got a lot of game changes amongst their ranks. And here is Toon for United. Park dispossessed by Spence, but manages to recover it again, does Jess Park. Has options available to her. Toon out wide to Riviere. Riviere's going to swing this one into the box. It's watched well by Kopp, who comes out and beats Nalsoon to it to claim the ball and relieve all the pressure off her side. But yeah, it's going to take something special from someone. You know, I'm looking at Toon, I'm looking at Galpset. Can they turn up and provide a goal? Laura says Spurs vs United 2 months ago was an absolute goal fest. Yeah. It's quite incredible how we can go from a 3-3 draw that is action-packed to a 0-0 draw where United haven't really threatened and Tottenham have been very wasteful. Tottenham are going to make their first change of the afternoon then. And this is going to see Lena Gunning-Williams come on. And that'll be the end of the game for Katinka Tamberg. So I'm very intrigued to see who's going to lead the line here. Is Gunning-Williams going to go up there? Or is it going to be a bit of a shift around? Obviously, no Beth England available. So I think Gunning-Williams is going to go on to lead the line. Yeah, a bit of a quiet one from Tamberg, to be honest. Not really got into the game. More problems for United as well here. Riviere is down. And does look to be in a bit of discomfort. Tamberg making her way round back to the bench. But yeah, Riviere is back to her feet. Looks to be okay. And Tottenham will get us back underway for the final 10 minutes here. Spence looks to go for the switch of the play. That was risky and gets it wrong. And Mallard pounces on it. Melvie Mallard releases Toon down the right-hand side. United coming forwards with numbers. Toon looks to put the ball in. Blocked well by Blackstad. Toon goes back to Riviere. Should have really utilised that more, United. And Letitier's caught on the ball by Gunning-Williams. Hermano looks to release the Tottenham forward down the line. But that is Gunning-Williams had gone a little bit too early. And United will get the free kick. Intensity from United has just upped it. They sense and they know that realistically they need a goal in the next 9 minutes. Turner. Letitia. Back to Millie Turner, who's looking to come forwards now. Steps up well and gives it to Sandberg. Sandberg into Mallard. Melvie Mallard holds on to it nicely, but is forced back brilliantly by Ella Morris. Letitia. Under pressure from Gunning-Williams. Shifts it to Riviere. Now Jess Park on the ball. Riviere goes up the line and finds Toon in space. And Tottenham caught high here. Ella Toon coming forwards for United. Shifts it across to Mallard, who gives herself half space. Mallard takes aim, and it's a big block from Nilden. And that will run behind for a United corner. Another good move from Manchester United. An important intervention from Amanda Nilden. United just starting to come back into life in this second half. They started strongly. Tottenham then definitely took back control, but the last 5 minutes, Man United are definitely looking a little bit more threatening. Those substitutions, 4 changes across the board for United are just starting to have a bit of an impact, you feel. Manchester United corner then. I think I'm trying to work out who's over this corner. I think it is Myla Tissier on the far side. Letizia goes short into Sandberg. She goes one more to Jess Park. Park now has a go from range. Well hit, but straight into the arms of Lisa Kopp, who's going to look to play quickly, but he's blocked off by Ellen Vangerheim and instead will slow it down. Park probably should have played this one more across to Ella Toon. Had a go herself though. And well watched by Lisa Kopp all the way. And claimed it nicely. Nilden now is the one driving it forwards for Tottenham. Here's Blackstad. Here's back to Nilden. Wanted to reverse it to Blackstad but couldn't quite find the pass. Spence. Gautset now on the ball with her back to goal. But does brilliantly to spin Nalsund. Gautset touches a bit heavy and she does end up losing it. It's a bit messy though between both sides. United are the ones though that come away with it. Letizia under pressure from Gunning Williams and she's tripped up. And that will be a free kick. A little bit too aggressive there from Gunning Williams. A bit too eager to get the ball back. Letizia over the free kick. Gives it to Miyazawa. Not long left now if United want to find a winner. Park inside, heavy touch, forced backwards to Turner, who with the pace on the ball, all she could do was direct it to Tallis Joyce. Here is Sandberg. Tallis Joyce now is going to go long, looking for Vangerheim, who holds it up well. Jess Park now can release Melvin Mallard down the left-hand side. United coming forwards. It's a 3-on-2. Mallard now for United. Has a go. Looks for Riviere, but it's just over hit. Think it took a touch on the way through, and it will be a United corner. But a brilliant move from Manchester United. Melvin Mallard running at Toko Koga. Did she look to shoot? Yeah, she looked to shoot, and it was actually deflected off the boot of Koga into the path of Riviere, but Riviere couldn't quite get there. Will be a corner for Manchester United to keep the pressure on, though. Can they find something late, something great? They've been second best in this contest, United, but can they find an incredibly important goal in their race for Europe? Sandberg with the in-swinger from this near side. Headed away. That's a really poor corner. And it's easily headed away by Tottenham. Nalsund will recycle it. Gives it to Sandberg, who crosses it in again. This time, Lisa Kopp comes and claims it comfortably. Really good stuff from Kopp. Very assertive. And claims it well. He's taking a time over this one because that is someone's down on the deck. I think it's Millie Turner, who felt the force of Lisa Kopp, who came running out to claim that one. Yeah, Turner just got caught as Kopp came out. Nothing in it. No, it's not a foul. It's just a bit of unfortune for the two, who ended up injuring each other. And Turner is going to receive treatment here. Yeah, not long left then in this game. United still being held by Tottenham. If anything, it's the other way around. Tottenham being held by United. You look at the stats and, I mean, it's not been a brilliant game for either side in front of goal. But all that matters now is if one of these two teams can find something in the last few minutes. Turner down then receiving treatment. Hopefully she is okay to continue. And, of course, Turner just come back from a major injury, so this will be concerning to see her down on the deck. Looks to be a problem with her left knee. Now, but hopefully everything will be okay. 3 minutes then left of normal time, plus additional. We've had a couple of injuries in this second half, and obviously Turner is down now, so it will be interesting to see how many minutes are added on. But realistically, with Chelsea winning today, and London City Lionesses have got a fourth, by the way. It's now 4-1 against Leicester. With Chelsea currently winning and United drawing, the gap between the two would now be 4 points, which would mean that if Chelsea were to win next week, then no matter what happens in the last game week, it would be out of United's hand. United couldn't do anything. And that's the problem of a draw. If United drop points today, it may mean that last game against Chelsea doesn't mean anything, because they won't be able to catch the Blues. That is the significance of United dropping points today. What they would do for a last gasp winner here. Millie Turner still down receiving treatment. But yeah, so from a United point of view, they need to find a goal. Need to find a goal. And they'd only be a point ahead of Arsenal, and Arsenal would have 3 games in hand. So it really would, United would pretty much be out of it if they do not find a winner here. That is how crucial the next couple of minutes are if United want to have Champions League football next season. Turner is back to her feet. Whether she's going to continue, not quite sure. She will not. Gabby George is going to come on and replace her for the last few minutes. So that is United all out of substitutions as well. That is their 5th change of the day. Gabby George coming in to play left centre-half. Of course, Dominic Janssen is also out injured, and Millie Turner is coming off injured here. And this is not what United need. They've already got an incredibly long injury list, and that has been extended by the looks of things with Turner, who's just returned, picking up an injury. 1 minute left then of the normal time. Expect quite a few minutes to be added on as well. So this game is not over yet. We're going to get back underway then with Lisa Cott has the ball in her hands. Has played it short, is under a bit of pressure here. And that is skewed out of play by Lisa Cott. Good press from Manchester United, and they've turned the ball over with a throw-in. London City Lionesses now have a 5th. They are 5-1 up against Leicester City. And Leicester City could be confirmed in the relegation playoff later today if West Ham are to beat Liverpool. But it's United coming forwards now. Sandberg into Mallard. Big tackle from Koga. And now Tottenham are going to try and come the other way. Toko Koga, the pass wasn't good enough. And United now can pounce. It's bouncing around between the two sides. It's Goutset though, charging forwards for Tottenham with the ball. Has options left or right. Goes left into Wimberg. What can she do now? Matilda Wimberg for Tottenham. Looks to stand up Riviere and beat her. Doesn't quite. Force backwards into Goutset. Wimberg will have 6 additional minutes in this game. Goutset now up against Riviere. Looks to take her on. Is forced backwards by the United fullback. Ball then swung in by Wimberg. It's overhit. Hermano keeping it alive on the far side of the pitch. Olivia Holt now looking to come through the lines. United are all packed in their penalty area. Holt is dispossessed. Miscommunication between her and Morris. And now United have a bit of a reprieve. But that is cleared out by Sandberg. 6 minutes then for one of these two sides to find a winner. Throw in from Tottenham, turned over. Gunning Williams bursting into the penalty area. Was she brought down by Letitia? Referee waves it away. Tottenham asking the question. Didn't look to be a penalty. Tottenham still coming forwards though. Holt up against Sandberg, is ran out of play. And that will be a United goal kick. And Holt with a bit of cramp as she crashed into the sideboards. But this is heating up in additional time here. Would love to have a look back at that penalty shout for Tottenham. Don't think there was enough in it. Yeah, Holt down here, so the additional time period will be extended. And Olivia Holt is saying that she's done, which is not what Tottenham need. When you look towards the bench, and they're going to have, you'd expect it to be Matilda Nilden to come on. But Olivia Holt's race looks to be running this game. So they're going to throw on Summonen. So a little bit more defensive, but that will throw Goutset further up the pitch. So a change in midfield. Summonen on for Holt. Goutset will then push further up. Summonen comes into the pivot. But this game is still hanging in the balance. It will be Tallis Joyce with the goal kick for Manchester United. Sent long by Tallis Joyce, flicked on by Nalsoon. Summonen sends it the other way. United then respond. It is then flicked forwards, and Gunning Williams again has beaten Letitia to it. Gunning Williams is in here for Tottenham, and it's struck too softly. And Tallis Joyce can get down and make the save. What a chance for Lena Gunning Williams, who did the hard part, got the wrong side of Letitia, but the shot was tame and well saved by Fallon Tallis Joyce. And then the pass out wide from Spence towards Morris from the clearances. Miss hit and United take the throw quickly. Nalsoon coming down the left-hand side. Summonen heads it away. Cleared out, and it will be a United throw, but what a chance for Tottenham. Gunning Williams gets there first, flicks it past Letitia, one-on-one with Tullis Joyce. Just couldn't find the bottom corner there. Sandberg, ball in from Nalsoon. It's a good ball in. It's seen all the way through by Tottenham and out for a goal kick. But how? How have Tottenham not found a goal at some point in this game? They've been the better side in this one. They just haven't managed to find a way through. Lisa Cott then with the goal kick for Tottenham. 2 minutes remaining of the additional time. And of course, Olivia Holt was down for a period of it. So expect more than that to be added on. Lisa Cott taking her time over this one. Kopp sends it long. Not a bad ball at all. Spence can't quite bring it down, but Nilden can give it back to Drew Spence, who battles hard with Nalsoon. A bit too aggressively, though, and that is going to be a United free kick. Letitia is then going to look to send this one long. United wanting to throw bodies forward. They need a goal, Manchester United. Long ball from Letitia. Flicked on towards Mallard. Can she get there? No, it's brilliant goalkeeping from Lisa Cott, who rushes off her line to beat Melvin Mallard to the ball and manages to smother the chance. Cott then again running down the clock here with the ball in her hands. Can now boot it up the pitch. Nalsoon cuts it out. Spence, though, will flick it on, looking for Gaupset, who holds it up nicely. Can she release Hermano down the right-hand side? Not quite. Summonen, though, will find Micah Hermano, who looked to take on Sandberg, but slips. And Sandberg will now get the ball back. Miyazawa plays it through Summonen. And now United have got space to use. Jess Park on the charge for Manchester United, but a brilliant recovery challenge from Matilda Wimberg. Blackstad into Spence. Less than a minute remaining of the additional time. Summonen finds Gaupset. Can Tottenham create one last chance here? Gaupset into Wimberg. Wimberg goes wide to Hermano. Hermano now swings it in towards Gunning Williams. Heads it goalwards. Can they keep it alive, Tottenham? Gaupset can't quite get there. Hooked clear by Nalsoon. Koga kicks it forwards. Toon will be the one to bring it down. Jess Park now on the ball. Mallard coming down the right-hand side. This will surely be it. Melvin Mallard up against Nilden. She's ran out of play, and it will be a Manchester United corner in the last minute here. The referee is going to allow them to take this. Nilden does enough. United corner. This is huge. Their chances for European football on the line here for Manchester United. And it's going to be Anna Sandberg to put the ball in. Fallon Tullis-Joyce is forwards. This will be the last kick of the game. Pretty much the last kick of the game. Anna Sandberg to swing it in. Every single player is in the penalty area for Manchester United. Sandberg with the in-swinger from the near side. Ball in from Sandberg. Kopp claims it brilliantly. And Tottenham have got to go because Tullis-Joyce is out of her goal. Vangerheim blocks her off though. And Kopp is just going to slow it down. Disappointed by the fact she couldn't release it. And it is given a free kick. Mallard then blocks it and will be booked. 97 minutes now on the clock. And that will surely be that for this game. Yeah, bit of a mess between all the bodies there. Kopp, though, will send this one forwards. And that should be the game. The ball goes long, and that is the full-time whistle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. And Manchester United, who needed the victory today to realistically keep their European hopes alive, are held by Tottenham, that is a big blow to United's chances, and they are going to need a bit of a miracle now if they want to finish inside the top three. A below par performance really from Manchester United. Tottenham the better side but couldn't take their chances, and although a point isn't good enough for United, they're pretty fortunate to take one from this victory. A very strong showing from Tottenham. They'll be disappointed they couldn't take the 3 points. But a lack of clinicality across the two sides, seeing it end goalless here. But yeah, United then, a big blow, a massive blow to their European hopes. Just to put it into context, they are now 4 points behind Chelsea with 2 games to go, which would mean that although they need to play Chelsea, if Sonia Bonpastor's side win next weekend, there is no way Manchester United could catch them. And that is the problem for United. They need Chelsea to lose next week, and then they've got to beat the Blues in the last game of the season. It's going to take a lot now. It's relying on Chelsea messing up themselves, which is not something you can rely on too often. Of course, they are still ahead of Arsenal, but they're only a point ahead of Arsenal, and Arsenal have got 3 games in hand. So that draw realistically means that United probably won't have Champions League football next season, bar a massive slip up from Chelsea in the last 2 games. That looks to be that for this season. United will probably have to settle for 4th place in the UWCL. A very disappointing performance and a bit of a disappointing season with no silverware taken and no Champions League qualification. United could be in a spot of bother. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Marlon saying Chelsea are playing bottom of the league next week. Exactly that. So the chances are even slimmer. Brainy asks, is it still top 2 automatic and 3rd playoff? No, the top position is automatic, and I think then the next 2 are still going into a playoffs. Although I can't remember if that's maybe been changed for going into next season. But United are relying on a miracle now. The only way United realistically qualify for European football is if Chelsea lose to Leicester and then United beat Chelsea in the final match week. That would take a lot at this point in the season. And I mean, Arsenal only need to win a couple of their games in hand, and suddenly Arsenal could end up miles ahead of United. So that's really not a consideration. As for Tottenham, they remain 5th. They are now 6 points ahead of Brighton, which should be enough. Brighton have got a game in hand, so Brighton could still pick up 9 points, which means technically they could jump Tottenham, but Brighton probably won't win all those games. They've got to play Arsenal in there, and they've got to play Manchester United, and they play each other on the final match week. So that would be quite cool if that is a battle for 5th place. But Tottenham, a strong performance. They'll be disappointed that they didn't win today. United will be disappointed in a point, but realistically should be pretty happy that despite being the second best side, they took something from the game. But that looks to be that for United's season and their chances of taking Champions League football. Thank you for everyone who has joined me this morning. I'll be back in just over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes for the second Champions League semi-final. Arsenal, of course, not in UWCL action because they host OL Lyonnais in 75 minutes time for the first leg of their Champions League semi-final. So make sure to come back in 75 minutes time to join me for what will be an incredible Champions League clash. But a brilliant morning stream. Hopefully we get a few more goals in the second game this afternoon. But yeah, just to round up the other scores as well in the division. Chelsea, despite being 1-1 at half-time with Everton, came away as 4-1 winners. A completely dominant performance, really, from the Blues. And, yeah, really showing their quality across the 90 minutes. And another big win as well. London City Lionesses 5, Leicester 1. A reminder as well, Leicester City took the lead in that game. Leicester went 1-0 up through Shannon O'Brien and then completely fell apart. London City scoring 5 goals in a dominant performance. And as I said earlier, if West Ham beat Liverpool in half an hour's time, Leicester will be confirmed in the relegation playoff. So a very disappointing day if you are a Leicester fan, because they look to be stuck to the bottom of the table, and they will have to fight for survival in the relegation playoff. But thank you to everyone who has tuned in this morning. Great to see so many of you getting involved in the live chat and turning up for a goalless game. Great to see. And as I say, join me in just over an hour's time for an incredible Champions League semi-final as Arsenal take on OL Leones. That is everything from me, though, for now, and I will see you in a bit.